Hi everyone, Richard here at Calvin Wazoo, and I have another vinyl finds that's related to Record Store Day. And like others who have posted, it was a big day. There were a lot of people out, and it's largely because, the Swifties standing in line, and hey, more power to them because it really brought people out. Taylor Swift was really quite, or at least her marketers, but it's probably her idea as well, really brilliant to release a record that's only available on Record Store Day. And, while it's unlikely that some may have gone unsold, there aren't going to be, as far as I know, any other releases and other pressings. This is like a really exclusive thing. And it's great for record stores. It's great for the vinyl industry and the vinyl collecting community. And there were a lot of good titles that were available. And there were several that I should have picked up and I didn't. I was focused on 5, not 10, just 5 records on the label Soul Jazz Records. And I just kind of figured, that I wouldn't have too much problem getting them. And then I was also interested in picking up the Eric Dolphy release and also the Peel Session Echo and the Bunnymen release. Well, I didn't get everything I wanted. And in fact, with the Soul Jazz Records, I was only able to buy 3 of the 5 that were going to be available that day because all the others had been sold. I did pick up one more on Discogs, so that when I get that, I'll have 4 of the 5, but I won't have all 5 unless there's another store someplace out there in Chicago that might have one, the one that I'm looking for that went unsold. And then, yeah, Echo and the Bunnymen, the Peel Session release. Nope, nobody had it. It sold out quickly, in part because the biggest store that I went to, Reckless Records, they told me that they only got 1 copy, and it got snatched up, right when they opened. So yeah, that didn't happen. But I did do all right. Nonetheless, I keep watching these videos of items that other people picked up, and like the Surfing the Great Lakes. I mean, Jesus, why, that sounds like a fun album. And there were a few others that I really should reconsider picking up. The Coco Taylor release, I don't know why I did. I saw it at a store. But I was thinking, I'm going to get all these other records and that's going to cost me a lot of money. But, it's like, I remember, an adage, I can't remember which VC person who vlogs said it, but essentially, if you see it, grab it because you might not see it again. And that's really quite true. So anyway, let's get started with the ones I did pick up, and I'll have some needle drops. So there were 5, and I got 3 on Record Store Day. Now this one here, this is the Holy Church of the Ecstatic Soul. All right, so this is higher power gospel, funk, and soul at the Crossroads, 1971 to 83. This has got some serious funk, man. It's all gospel, it's all church music, but nonetheless, I can't believe some of these songs they would sing in church because they're funky, they're dirty. There are songs about sex, I mean, they may be talking about a higher power, but they're singing about getting it on. And there's just some really, really great songs. So, and it's got these very nice insert here that talks a lot about the various musicians, and their background, and so many soul singers who they dropped out of the gospel circuit so that they could pursue more secular music. Sam Cooke was like that. Aretha Franklin was like that. But I tell you what, man, there was a huge circuit of gospel groups that toured and sold and made records. And I didn't really know about that until a few years back when I read the really excellent book by, I think it's Peter Guralnick, Sweet Soul Music. It's a fantastic book about the history of soul music and gospel and the Stax records and Volt records and Muscle Shoals, the whole deal. So as with soul jazz records, very nice packaging with lots of information regarding the musicians, as I say, where they're from, and with some photos, etc. So yeah, what I'm going to play for the needle drop is a song by the Meditation Singers, and it's that good old gospel music. That is serious funk. And there is a lot of that on this record. There's also, a lot of kind of more traditional gospel. It opens up, in fact, the record with very, I would say, more traditional style of gospel that's great and all that. But it's a little, well, it's all church music. And, this atheist loves the music, but after a while, the lyrical content is very repetitive. But nonetheless, this is a really excellent compilation. And I would recommend it. Especially if you're a soul music fan and gospel music fan, and funk as well. Pick this up. It is really a superb compilation. Quickly, some of the other, besides the Meditation Singers, you've got Shirley Caesar, you've got the Clark Sisters, you've got the Swan Silvertones, the Alvin Darling Ensemble, the Violinaires, a lot of great groups on this. So, not a top level soul jazz record, in my collection. I love it, but it's one that I wouldn't listen to all the way through. I would skip over some of the songs just because, I'm just not that holy. Now, the next one is another fantastic and I'll say more fantastic than the soul music one, and that is this one, Gypsy Rhumba. So this is Gypsy Rhumba music from Spain that was recorded, released in the years from 1965 to 1974. So some of the songs are going to have that sound, primitive recording sound. Like, and they may, some of the that are put on here, they may have been playing, 45s, singles, in order to get this. I don't know. Maybe they didn't necessarily have access to the tapes, but it's still a really good recording. And as in the inside here with this one, you can see all the different artists and some information about them, about the song. The liner notes are really, those are the liner notes. The inner sleeves are just, showing the various soul jazz record recordings that are available. Unless you're really deep into Spanish gypsy music, I won't read any of the artists' names. But again, to give you an idea, if you are familiar with the Gypsy Kings, this is what I'm talking about. That's the type of music and I love the Gypsy Kings. In fact, they came to Chicago, and I was able to see them in the Chicago theater. Got pretty close to the stage too. But yeah, as it says here, this is a unique musical form of Gypsy Rhumba, a style that blended together flamenco, Caribbean, and rock and roll influences. So the track I'm going to play for you is by the artist Rabbit Rumba, and the song is Nuestro Ayer. The whole album is pretty much like that. It's just really, really good stuff. So again, Soul Jazz Records, their compilations are fantastic. Gypsy Rhumba. Okay, so that was originally released in 2014. All right, so this is the Record Store Day issue. The Holy Church of the Ecstatic Soul was a 2022 release. And then the next one, again, we're talking about a compilation that's probably taken from the singles, from the 45s, and that's this one here, Studio One Ska, which was originally released in 2004 and then reissued again for Record Store Day. Double record. And again, it's got all the information. Here's the track listings on the inner sleeve, photos of the singles that are being played. Some of the songs, it's interesting. They talk about, it lists who wrote the song and then the music label. For example, there's Jackie Mitu doing El Bang Bang, and that is by John Marie Music. But then there are these other ones, for example, the Wailers with I'm Gonna Put It On, and then it says copyright control. So I don't know what's going on with that. But again, really fantastic collection of ska music. which, if you, to me, ska music and reggae are really kind of the same thing, except that ska is played at a faster beat. Roughly 110 to 120 beats per minute is the ska, whereas reggae is slower. But it's the same style of playing, and a lot of great groups on here, including the Ethiopians and Stranger Cole, the Maytals, the Wailers, the Scatalites. It's like all really good stuff. And the needle drop I'm going to play for you is by Delroy Wilson, and the track is called I Want Justice. He's singing about I want justice, but he's not, I don't think he's singing about, civil rights justice. He wants justice from his girl. I think that's what that song's about. So, yeah, those are the 3 soul jazz records that I picked up. And like I say, man, just everything that I have purchased from them has just been all really, really, really solid. And then there was another one that I picked up that I wanted, and that's this one here, this Eric Dolphy Musial Prophet. And again, really fantastic packaging going on with this. I was surprised, truly surprised. Every store I went to had several copies of this, and I was going later, afternoon, because I wasn't going to be standing in line. I mean, when I went in the store, usually right shortly after the store, if there are people waiting in line, the line is not usually very long. At least that's been my experience over the last couple of years. And then, within a half hour or so, because the stores are so efficient, especially the one I go to that's close to me, they come out and they ask what you want. And if they still have it, then as soon as you come in, they've got them ready for you. But yeah, every single store I went to still had plenty of copies of this. And this is a fantastic recording and pressing. Really, really great pressing. Just dead quiet, and just fantastic. I mean, I just can't say it enough. And it's a limited edition. So, mine's number 1213 out of 4,000. Woohoo! So, what's on it? I'm a total Eric Dolphy freak. I mean, I love his music. He is my favorite jazz artist and composer and band leader. And he's played with a lot of really great people, including Charlie Mingus. And these recordings were done in July of 1963, so this is roughly a year before he then left for Europe and then died as soon as, not as soon, but as soon as he arrived in Berlin, he slipped into a diabetic coma, which the doctors misdiagnosed him being a Black jazz musician. They presumed it was a drug overdose. So, and Europe is not necessarily, especially at that time, was not a place that was known for racist attitudes toward black people, because a lot of African-American musicians went to Europe to get away from the racism in the United States. They felt more comfortable. They were more accepted. They were more accepted. They were well accepted. They were embraced by the people of Europe for the most part. But see, racism is insidious and it creeps into institutions. So it wasn't necessarily the own doctor's prejudice that led to the misdiagnosis. It was the institutional perspective that led to that misdiagnosis. Anyway, the first two records are sort of like reissues or redos of the releases Conversations and Iron Man. Iron Man was the first Eric Dolphy record I ever purchased, and it is a fantastic record. They don't switch the order, but they switch how the songs appear for Iron Man. Iron Man has on the normal release the title song, then Mandrake, and then Come Sunday. Then side 2 is Burning Spear and Ode to Charlie Parker. However, on this one, they put Iron Man, Mandrake, Come Sunday, Burning Spear all on one side, and then Ode to Charlie Parker on the other, because there's a bonus track called A Personal Statement. Previously unreleased, I believe. It is an amazing song, and that's the needle track I'm going to play for you. A Personal Message. Listening to that, you've got these vocalizations, and even there's that part where the singer is doing this, almost an operatic style of singing, and then you've got Eric Dolphy coming in on the saxophone, right, exact matching timbre, and pitch, and then the voice fades away, and then you've got the saxophone. It's just totally amazing. And listening to that, it really became even clearer to me the influence Eric Dolphy had on Frank Zappa. Frank Zappa lists Eric Dolphy, among his musical influences on the inside of the many influences that he lists on the inside of Freak Out. But he also did a song called the Eric Dolphy Memorial Barbecue after his passing. So we're talking 1963, and I'm thinking, if you listen to that song, A Personal Statement, which is also known as Jim Crow, you can hear how that had influenced Zappa's material. For example, 200 Motels, with some of the pieces in that. So really incredible. Then side 3 is all previously unissued official studio recordings, which are various alternate takes of the music that appeared on the recordings, Conversations, and Iron Man. So just really, really brilliant stuff. personal statement, the person who's doing the vocal is David Schwartz. So, you know, that's on here. Really nice all the way around. So they've got the original, they replicated the original album covers for the two records that are featured here. And then the material, they have this really nice booklet. I haven't read everything in it, but the photos on the front and back. But lots of material and photos in here with interviews with people who played with Eric Dolphy. Just, you know, really, really nice material. And then they even, now I don't know about and Conversations. I don't have that release, so I don't know what the label looks like. But as I said, I have Iron Man, and they did for the LP that is for Iron Man in this, they matched the original label. I do not know what the original label looked like for, let me pull it out here, for Conversations, but this is what they did for Conversations. So I'm presuming that that might be what the original label looked like. So yeah, triple album, and as I said, and it's also available, it says it's a deluxe 3 CD set. But as I said, really excellent, excellent pressing. Dead quiet, no surface noise. Just absolutely remarkable. Well worth the money, you know, that I paid for it. I think the store that I bought it at marked it up a little bit, you know, because it was in the mid-60s for what I paid for it. And I don't think that was what the suggested retail price was. But anyway, it's a fantastic record. And like I say, there were still many, many copies later in the day that hadn't been sold. So, you know, go back to your record store and check it out and see if it's still there, because it's an excellent, excellent, you know, recording if you like Eric Dolphy, especially, even if you have the individual releases of Conversations and Iron Man, it is worth picking this up. It's just absolutely fantastic. So those are my record store day purchases. And I'll have some other videos coming pretty soon, because besides the other soul jazz record that I ordered through Discogs, I have some, they're CDs, but you know, it's material that's only available on CD coming in from Japan. Who knows when that will be coming in. And then if you see behind me over here, I've been listening to this it's not a new, but it's a different Mdu Mokhtar release. Wow, it's smoking. Anyway, so be looking out for those. I am on Instagram, you know, so you can check me out on Instagram at newsdude76. That's NEWZDUDE 76. You know, like and subscribe. The like really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Gets my videos out a little more for more eyeballs to see when people click that like button. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not monetized. I'm not saying this because I want to make money. My channel is not monetized, even though it's eligible for that. I just love doing this, you know, and especially with the needle drops, because with the needle drops, I wouldn't be making any money anyway. So yeah, like, subscribe. There's the Instagram. Also remember that Calvin Wazoo is a Facebook page that you can like. I really haven't promoted that very much, and it's been around for a while. And, you know, there might be I don't know, 30 people or something like that who like the Calvin Wazoo Facebook page. But I'll try and remember. I say these things during videos, sometimes I forget to put it in the down under, but I will try and remember to have that in the down under. And so, hey, yeah, did you, some of these other ones that I kind of wished I would have had, did you get, for example, the Peel Session Echo and the Bunnymen? I really, really would have liked to have been able to get that one. And, come to think of it, our next episode of the Gunkles, we're going to be reviewing that Coco Taylor release that I didn't pick up, but I saw it in one of the stores I was at. It's like, why didn't I buy it? Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Come back for some more when I get them posted. And always remember to pray for the people inside your head, for they won't be there when you're dead.